Guide United for me is a way of life. You know, if we look at the world that we're living in, we lack love, trust, happiness, guidance, and unity. So for me, Guide United is a way of life. It's how you choose to live your life when you wake up in the morning. Do you want to be reckless? Or you want to actually intertwine with something? You actually want to maybe say hello to the person you don't usually say hello to. Maybe put a smile on their face. Already that's unity. Because you've helped them smile within themselves. Simplicity is key. Hi, my name's Ibrahim Fabrice Pecondo, but most would know me as Fenzo, part CEO, co-founder of Guide United Entertainment, also Unite, Fight and Overcome. The war ain't over, but it can be won. Let's take a journey with us.
So, who am I? I'm Leandro. I'm a member of Guide United Entertainment and UFO. Obviously, we worked with a few other developments in the future, but in the past, like also Reach Out themselves. You know, they gave us a little run-in, they gave us a few sponsors to go out there and go into the community, the lowest part community in Manchester, Moss side. They told us go out there and see if you can get more than 10 kids to come together. Me, Fenzo, and another brother called Abdullah, who was not here at this present moment, you know. When we first started Guide United, we went out there, went into the streets, we collected over 100 kids, we still got the papers to show them, and no one thought we would have done it, you know. We went out there, we got 100 people came together, 100 students. Through that, we started getting a bit of funds, but things didn't really work out in Manchester, so that's when we moved up to Newcastle. And we met a brother like KC, you know, and he introduced us to Newcastle and a few other workers, and through there we just got started working with a lot of key young kids in the community, and etc. etc.
Well, my name's Bads, just the producer from Guide United, and just the guy who makes the beats and mixes and masters and just everything around that area. When we first started, we met up with this guy called John Niblo, and then he introduced us to Louise, and she said, "Do you want to work in clubs who are already involved in music, or clubs who aren't involved in music?" And straight away, me and the Guide United said, kids who like got nothing to do with music.
The project started through John, my chief exec, met Victor, one of the Guide United members, and he asked me to meet with Guide United to talk about potentially getting a project together in one of the youth clubs. So obviously I met with some of the lads there from Guide United, and we came up with a 4-week pilot project. And we thought that it would be best piloting in one of the youth clubs, so we piloted in the NCYP Valley Outreach Project based at Shire Adventure Playground. We thought we'd do a 4-week project. Initially it started once a week, but I think as the project started, the young people were enjoying it that much, so then we rolled it twice a week.
Respect my health, now I'm chilling. Trying to make a beat. I can't do that because I'm standing on my feet. It's really bothering me because I've got a disability. Trying to understand what people think about me. I want to make a beat but I just can't speak because I'm with my family shopping for the week. I don't care what people think about me because I'm going to be a celebrity.
Something I've never had before. So it's been a great opportunity for them to kind of come together as a group and kind of make music production and learn how to kind of put lyrics together through their kind of life experiences, and how to express themselves properly. I think the young people throughout the 4 weeks as well, from week 1 to week 4, the confidence and the self-esteem that they've gained, and also just how you can say the respect that they've now got in themselves.
And from that, when we first started, they were very reluctant, but once you pulled them out and just picked apart and then tried to get your message of unity and fight and overcome, that's when it all came together, and they came up to us, and we've eventually gotten them to record.
name's Walter Kutabiela. I'm from Angola. Been in UK for like 11 years now, and aiming to try and get to the top with Guiding Unite. When I first started with Guide Unite, or not even Guide Unite, but whatever you do when you first start, you know, there's always something there that is trying to stop you. But I learned that through my journey, with the team, and yes, I do see within these young individuals something that I had before, you know, and I know they can overcome the same way as I did.
At the moment, I just speak with my brothers, Guiding Unite. That's a group of people that make music to influence other people, trying to teach people about life, trying to give them the right guidance through this journey.
So I first met Elle when I was about 15, and that was my first session youth job when I was working for Streetwise, and basically I was kind of meant to be developing a project for young African people. Yeah, and it was the first youth work post that I'd had, because my full-time job was around kind of community development stuff. I'd say Elle he was quiet, not because he didn't have much to say, but I think he used to just kind of kick back and observe. Yeah, and there was a couple of lasses in the group that kind of liked him. And yeah, and he just had his own little way about him. The next person I think I met was probably Walter. Yeah, he was quite, I'd say he's quite a deep thinker, but he didn't used to always engage in the conversations as much, a bit like Elle, kicking back and observing what's happening. Leo was probably the one that I met last before Fenzo. Yeah, and once again, had a lot to say, but at the same time did kick back and observe. So I think a lot of the time we were probably trying to suss out where me and Fred were coming from, but at the same time, as youth work guys, you've got the role that you play. You don't always reflect all of who you are. Obviously there were certain things that we were dealing with at work as we wanted to kind of protect them from. So almost like me and my co-worker kind of in a difficult position, because on one hand you've got pressure coming from a group of young people, but you've also got pressure coming from management, and you're kind of trying to like advocate for what's in their best interest, but at the same time you as a worker might have your own kind of constraints that are being put on you. And in terms of where they are now, it's good to see them kind of paying it forward and doing their own thing, because for me it's always about like for me my exit strategy is knowing that there's a next generation that are going to come with the same kind of values and basically do something for young people, because the demand is great, it's not going anywhere. This day and age, especially now, it's going to be more difficult than it has been for a very long time with young people from that age range. And it's like, and I think it's good that basically taking that responsibility on.
How we get our message across, main thing is communication through music, expression of art, whether it be poetry, whether it be short film, anything really, you know, anything that works with what you're trying to get across. You know, if something feels righteous in terms of a track, put it on a track. If it feels better on standing in front of people, stand in front of people.
And through the music, we like to get people to uplift themselves. We like to get people out of stress, anger, weakness. Through the music, we like to uplift souls and elevate, which you'll be hearing a lot of soon. My name is Natos. I'm a member of Guiding United. I was born and raised in Manchester, but right now I'm up in Newcastle. One of my main inspirations was Bob Marley. Maybe that's because I was brought up in a West Indian background, but his lyrics speak volume to me, and that's one of the key things I like to get across in my music. I like to have depth, as well as rhythm, as well as a bit of flow, whatnot.
I'm Shaz, artist from Newcastle. We've got an album coming out on the 24th of November, so buy it. How we got started was I put all my equipment, all the money, everything, I invested everything into the stuff that we've got at Bad's place, so we all sort of put everything there. And I was like, said to Bads, I was like, that's fine for Guide United and Fenzo to do what they're doing there, because basically I agree and I follow and I support their movement. I might not have the same sort of ideas as them, because they, you know, peace and all that stuff, which I support. But I'm more, in my music, I'm more blunt. So if they're going to say it subliminally about the government or whatnot, I'm just going to say the government or George Bush, he's his wife. That's my sort of, that's the way I speak.
It isn't about YouTube hits or anything, it's more about hitting people's souls and hitting what people have got deep inside and hitting real issues in life.
The values are twisted, basically, in terms of the emphasis is on what's going to make money for the economy. Do you know what I mean? We do live in a capitalist nation, a majority capitalist world, and it is about profit, and I think profit couldn't be for people. And I think basically many governments are thinking about what their term is going to be. So they're not thinking. So for example, youth work at the minute, there's a campaign called In Defence of Youth Work that a lot of people are trying to use youth work as a way to control young people, like make it be like about youth management, prevent them from getting into trouble, not necessarily working with them as young people to develop them as individuals. So it's a case of I think they need to think long term. They need to think about society in general and what kind of generation do they want to see taking ownership of the country in the future, as opposed to what's going to make them look good for their term and what's going to make bank balances grow. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people in power have got shares in corporations. It's all intertwined, and I think maybe that's why people's focus is elsewhere. And obviously the future, children are the future. Do you know what I mean? The younger generation is the future. So it's like the need to kind of revolutionise our priorities.
Unity means to me like how water means to a dry mouth. That's what unity means to me. Togetherness, purity, elevation, hydration of the spirit.
It's the brothers with the righteous intentions in life who want to overcome the same obstacles as you, who want to achieve greater, you know. They who want to be out there and go out there and give something out to the world, you know. For me, is with my brother, for God United, unity, coming together, I want to go out there and give something back to this country that gave me a chance.
It's to get people together, get as much people together and understand each other.
A quote from Dead Prez, one dreadlock is stronger than one strand. Basically meaning, when people come together, we're strong, we can unite, we can overcome certain obstacles in our lives, and that is the main focus, and that's the main purpose of uniting. Uniting to become better, to uplift everybody.
Unity is a source that holds a lot of power, to me, I think. And it's something that is needed in every single individual. And unity means family, means friend, means uniting.
Yeah, they ask me why do I, I reply how do I live a life that I know ain't good for I. There's no I in team, but there's an E in dream. Dream team, guide unite, UFO, that's we in France, I say yes.